Hi everybody, I'm Honda Pro Jason, and behind me is a 2024 Acura Integra Type S, and in this video I'm going to tell you all the cool tips and tricks. I'm going to show you guys stuff that no other YouTuber has ever shown you, so come with me and let's have some fun. Let's start in the front. This emblem is not a radar like on other cars, but it can be an accessory
illuminated Acura badge.
So at night, this actually lights up, which is super cool. Because there's no radar, Acura uses these sensors as sonar. There's one here, there's one down here, and there's two on the other side, and that's gonna work with your Acura watch. So that's gonna tell you how far the car is in front of you for adaptive cruise control, low speed braking, things like that. In front, this is kind of interesting. These are huge. This will allow a lot of air to come in for aerodynamics. This will help keep the car planted. What helps more is inside there's actually canards that are built inside there to channel the air exactly where they want to go. Come around to the side here. Acura has already said that the car is essentially different than the regular Integra, the Type S, from the A-pillar, which is right here, all the way forward, which means different hood, bumper, and fenders. That also means that these doors and the rear quarters are the same as the Integra. So these are just added on arches. I love the fact that they copied what some of us enthusiasts were doing with the Civic Type R and added this piece. I really like that a lot. A couple of things people might not know, which I really think is cool. When you open up these doors, there's a light that goes on inside there. I think that's really nice and convenient when you open up the doors. Also, from your key fob, many of you know the window down trick. You press unlock once, you press again and hold it, all the windows go down. And if this had a sunroof, the sunroof would open. What a lot of people don't know is now inside the settings in the car, you can actually shut that feature off, which is something brand new for this car. Coming around to the side here, the gas door unlocks when the doors are unlocked, but it also locks when the doors are locked. But what happens if you unlock the doors and this doesn't open? Let's say the little actuator in there doesn't open up or it's frozen for some reason. Let me show you the trick on how to open it. You come into the hatch, come around that side for me, please. And underneath here is a little panel. And when you remove this panel, the panel actually says right here on it, emergency fuel lid release. So inside there, there's a little handle. And all you have to do is pull on that handle and that gas door will unlock itself. So these are rear parking sensors, but just like the front ones, they have a dual purpose. They're also for low speed collision. So this will tell you if something's right behind you. And if you immediately hit the gas, it'll reduce the throttle so you don't hit them, along with the front. And we've all been in this situation. You're waiting to make a right-hand turn. The guy in front of you starts to go. When you think he goes, you look, it's clear, you hit the gas and boom, you hit that guy. The front sensors will protect that from happening, because as soon as you hit the gas, it'll reduce the throttle, so the chances of you hitting them are much less. Another thing I want to show you back here is this is the button to open up the hatchback, but there's also another small button right next to it. That button works the same way as the door button. So if you want to lock the doors, you don't want to walk all the way up to the front, all you have to do is press this button right here. It locks the doors and then you can just walk away. So on the remote for the new Integra, there's a lock button, an unlock button, and a hatchback button. But what does the hatchback button do? Let me explain. Let's say all the doors are locked, and let's say your son leaves his book inside the hatchback. All I have to do is press the unlock button, and your son can go ahead, grab what he needs out of the hatchback. I can walk away, I can go take a shower. Once he shuts it, all the doors stay locked, and that relocks itself automatically. So there's no reason for me to go back and lock this again, because it unlocks it one time only. How cool is that? There are so many cool tips and tricks inside. First, let's start with the infotainment screen. So as you guys can see, there's a bunch of apps on here. But if you want an app in another order, let's say that you really want your trip computer on the main page, you press and hold, you release it, and now you can modify it just like your cell phone. I can take it with my finger and drag it to anywhere I want on the page and drop it right there. Now my trip computer is right there. Now you also have some presets down here. So if you want, you can actually change any of these too. So let's say that I want my trip computer down here, so it's always in front no matter what page I go to. I take trip computer, I slide it down to my favorites, I release it. Now my trip computer is down here. So now no matter what page I'm on, the trip computer is always down there. Now there's some other customizations you can do that are all inside this screen. This is the full digital screen. So you can do a lot of cool customizations to it. So on the left-hand side, inside here, it'll show you what you're listening to: FM, AM, SXM, USB, Bluetooth. But if I don't need those, why should I have to scroll by them? I go to Customize Display, Hide and Show, and now I can hide the ones I don't listen to. So I don't listen to AM anymore, and I don't use USB or the apps. So now when I go back, those items aren't there anymore. It's only the ones that I want to see, so it makes it a lot easier to scroll through. Now you can do the same thing on the other side because it's all digital. The right-hand side roller here will show you your tire pressure, safety support for your Acura watch, your brightness, your heads-up display settings, and then you have gauge display settings. So here again, I can go hide and show, and now I can take away the ones that you don't want to see. Here's a cool tip that a lot of people had no idea the car had. In this car, you cannot turn off the headlights. If you notice in front, the headlights are on. Hopefully you guys can see that. Headlights are on, and when I go to shut the headlights off, nothing happens. That's because it's dark outside. The headlights are automatically going to be on. So if you've ever noticed as you drive down the street, somebody drives around with their headlights off, that'll never happen in any of the new Integras. So if you want to shut your headlights off, let's say you're parked in front of a building or a friend's house, if you simply put the parking brake on, which is right there, and now when you turn back the stalk here to off, the headlights actually shut themselves off. But as soon as you take the parking brake off because you're going to drive away, headlights automatically go back on because it's nighttime. I think that's a very, very good safety feature, and it'll prevent people from driving around at night without their headlights on. So let's move over here to the climate control. Climate control is pretty simple. It is a sync system, so you have right and left driver and passenger. A cool feature about the heated seat, if I leave my heated seat on 2 and my passenger leaves their heated seat on 3, when I shut off the car and then restart the car again, mine will stay on 2 and theirs will stay on 3. So now let's talk about some customizable settings up in this screen. Let's go into vehicle settings. There's some really cool stuff that a lot of people don't know the car can do. So if you go to keyless access setup, here you can choose the door unlock mode. And so what happens here is when you grab the driver's side door handle, do you want all the doors to open or just the driver's door? Well, if you're with your family, of course, you want all the doors so they're not standing out in the rain wondering if you're ever going to unlock the door for them. Keyless access light flash, the beeping, and then lockout protection. You can actually turn this off. So if you want to lock a key in the car because you're going to go swimming or surfing, you're welcome to do that as well. And now we get the door and window setup. So you can set up exactly how the doors lock and unlock. Walk away auto lock, which is an amazing feature. What happens here is as soon as I turn this on, once activated, all I have to do is shut the car off with the keys in my hand, leave the car. You guys stay there, I'll be right back. You're gonna hear 2 beeps. That's the first beep. That's the second beep. All the doors locked, all I did is walk away. Now there's something you guys have to know about walk away auto lock. It's not just distance, it's also time. So if I'm just standing next to the car getting gas, after 30 seconds, all the doors are locked and the alarm sets. So if you're gonna leave someone in the car, it might be a smart move to leave the key with them just in case they wanna get out of the car, the alarm won't go off. You have a USB-A input and a USB-C input. Because of this insignia, you're able to not just charge your phone, but also transfer data and play music. On the USB-C, with this insignia here, you can only charge your phone. There's no music playing or data through here at all. This next feature is one of my favorites. It's called lock presetting. And the way it works is, as a driver, I get out of the car. I shut the door. Any kids or passengers open the door, but they're not ready to get out quite yet. All I have to do is press lock in the key fob. Now it's preset. I'm gonna walk all the way to my house. I'm gonna walk to my neighbor's house. I'm gonna walk as far away as I want. And then whenever the passengers are ready to get out of the car and they shut the door, it automatically locks. So now there is no more reason for you to have to wait for the kids to get out of the car before you can lock it. You can just walk away and they get out whenever they want. How convenient is that? This car has an electronic parking brake, and most of us know to release that, you put your foot on the brake and you press down. But there's a better way to do it, an easier way to do it. If you have your seatbelt on, all you have to do is put the car in gear and drive forward and it automatically deactivates. Let me show you again in reverse. Parking brakes on, put the car in reverse, watch that light, it automatically deactivates. How cool is that? Have you ever wondered how the car knows to say, check the back seats? Well, let me explain. So the way that works is if the doors are open before you start the car knows that you put something in the back seat. A quart of ice cream, a gallon of milk, a child, a dog. And so when you shut the car off, it remembers that and says, hey, listen, you might have left something in the back seat. Why don't you check real quick? So that's my tips and tricks video for the 2024 Acura Integra Type S. Most of these tips and tricks will also work on the Acura Integra. Hope you guys learned something. If you learned something new, leave it in the comments below. And as always, guys, I'm the Acura Pro, and now you're in the know.
So there is a hidden Easter egg. It's located in the center console. If you pull up the spill mat on the back side, you'll see it says the Civic history goes on with a little diagram of the first generation Civic. Why is it in the Integra? Well, the original Integra was built off the Civic, so it does kind of make sense.